Hey, what's happening? We got another video Q&A. Steve Maeda here. And definitely, if you want to get involved in this, go to venusianarts.com/forum. If you do that, you can go in and ask the instructor specific questions. And guess what? We answer them. But if they're really cool, we're going to make videos. In this one, I'm going to break the rules. This is a shout out to a message board which I belong to called Asian PUA. And the reason why I'm doing this is because it's a great board. It's very active, a lot of good advice, a lot of stuff going on. And plus, hey, I'm half Asian. I'm so half Asian that if I drink alcohol, which it's been a while, but if I drink alcohol, my face turns red. But if you drink Pepsi AC, it's the way to go before you drink. Man, that's a cool hack if you have that issue. But also, my dad, this is all about, it's like, let's pick up white women. And hey, let me tell you guys, let's just get laid. Let's have sex. Let's talk to people. White women, all women are good. You have your preferences, but man, women are awesome. Start experiencing them in all their different flavors, right? White women included. But, my dad, he was Asian, and he... Japanese, very, very Japanese. He came from Hawaii, and basically, man, it's a crazy story, but he married my mom, who is a white blonde lady, and it was pretty nuts, and he's not the most social dude, and still to this day, in his own way, right? But pretty crazy. I should put a picture up for you guys to see. But anyway. So that's my history, but I wanted to take a message from here because some of the guys on this board are so prolific, and I wanted to say, hey, man, join the Venusian Arts Forum. It doesn't cost anything. Get involved with us over here because, man, let's just get it all in one big circle. And of course, you can always email me at Steve@venusianarts.com, but also if you're on this message board, you probably know me on Facebook and Twitter and all that fun stuff too. But this guy actually writes a great question, and if you're an Asian American or maybe just Asian in an English-speaking country or foreign in an English-speaking country, he writes, is broken English a turnoff for girls in America? I feel like in certain situations, failure to sound like a native leads to being an easy target in front of other guys, and then girls to see you as low status. What do you think, guys? All right. And he got a lot of great feedback, and he's posting a bunch of stuff here about it. So look, man, let me tell you, number one is way back when I heard some really terrible advice, okay? Some really, really horrible advice, and it's from an instructor who I think is a great guy personally, and actually gives a lot of good advice. But he said, if you speak with an accent that is anything, get rid of it. It's not a rule that I came up with, but it's just the fact. That's what women like. They don't like an Indian accent. They don't like an Asian accent. They don't like a whatever. Man, no. You are you. Do not listen to that. Here's a little piece of motivational advice. Own who you are. When my dad actually approached my mom, he was in medical school in Iowa. They had never seen a Japanese person before. He went back to Hawaii. My mom was working at that school. He saw her picture in the yearbook. Didn't know how to socialize at all. Man, like to a pretty high degree, right? A lot of us can relate. And he found her number, called her up and said, hey, I saw your picture in the yearbook. I want to take you on a date. Are you ready to take a chance? This is a guy who hadn't dated much at all and took that chance with my mom, but he owned it. What was so cool about that, if there was value, is he owned it, right? He was himself. And so that being a little bit of a motivational statement for you is you need to own whatever your shortcomings are. Look, man, I'm 5'7" and 5'8" on a good day. I own that. My girlfriend is 6 feet tall. I've dated all sorts of different women. I didn't particularly choose that. It just sort of happened. But man, I don't care because I learned to be confident with myself. And that doesn't mean that I'm not insecure at times. It doesn't mean that I don't have bad days. It doesn't mean when somebody steps on my toes, I don't feel bad. I do. But I learned to pick myself up and say, hey, this is what I got. This is who I am. And this is who I'm going to show for it. So that being said, that's a great little philosophy and thing to live by. Hey, Steve, you gave me a little pep in my step type thing. So what do you do? Well, when you're in field and you start to, let's say, stutter or not speak fluidly, just say, oh man, I'm so sorry. I'm Asian and this isn't my first language. But you guys in America, you only speak one language. Man, just acknowledge it. Okay? Don't think that that's low value or low status or anything like that. Low value and low status can be given by anybody, but it's only accepted by you. All right. So people can think you're weird. People can think you're like not so good. But if you own it, man, if you own it, sure, some people are going to get cut out of your life, but they're going to be the right people that get cut out of your life because they're the wrong people for you. But if you can own it, then the people that stick around for that are going to get to know the real you. That's what they're going to have the relationship with. That's what they're going to have sex with. That's what they're going to interact with in all these different ways. So what I really want you to do very specifically is when you get in those moments where you're not expressing yourself, where your accent gets a little bit thick, people give you that weird look, just acknowledge it. Oh man, I'm sorry, English isn't my first language, man. Like, anyway, you guys are Americans. I'm trying to do my best, but the weird thing is everybody else in the world speaks multiple languages, but Americans only speak one, man. It's such a great thing to be multilingual in all these different ways. Anyway, let me ask you something. Like, what are one of the things that you value? Like, I love being multilingual because, like, I can talk to everybody, but man, what's one of your favorite things about meeting people and talking to people? Man, all I want you to do is acknowledge whatever your flaw is and have people understand it, okay? Let's get into something here, and this is really, really unique for my style of teaching. But we're all afraid of judgment, okay? But guess what? If somebody understands you, they can't judge you. If somebody understands truly who you are, if you say, hey, I'm Steve Maeda, I'm this guy, I've done this and that, you may think this about me, but here's who I am. Let's talk and have a relationship. If you do that, they can make a choice about you. If they make a choice that rejects you, it will hurt. But that's far better than a judgment, which means they don't know you. They are looking at you on the surface. They are making a judgment, an assessment about you from not really knowing and experiencing who you are. And who wants to have a social and sexual life based on that? So I hope that helps. I hope the little motivation really moved you in the right direction, gave you some inspiration. If you have any more questions, hey, Asian PUA guys, come on the Venusian Arts Forum. Man, it's free. There's no pressure. We make videos for you guys, man, on a weekly basis for Ask the Instructors, all that fun stuff. And if you are Asian out there and you think that you have an accent or you think you have something that isn't working for you, just start acknowledging it to people, empowering it and owning it, and never listen to anybody who tells you not to be yourself. All right, thanks so much for watching. Steve Maeda. We'll talk soon.